Alaikum, sisters and brothers. Suleiman Rahim here. That's the covenant. Brothers and sisters, battle cry. Day of battle. That's the day when the real Israel rise. And as we're told, we won't walk to the top. We have to battle our way back to heaven, back to godhood, back to control, back to battle. Their battle. So that's why my husband set this stage, started that process through Elijah. And we see Aaron, Farrakhan, disrupting that process, trying to impede it, right? Shut it down. You don't understand it now, but you understand it soon. So my purpose here is to get you prepared for what's about to happen. And I can't explain to you in terms of pressure about good. If you understood that, I can explain it to you easily. But the bottom line is what you see right now in America, all this violence. And see, the thing is that America's so peaceful and so great. Why would it need more police? Why do it need police at all? More prisons. There are more prisons in American prisons, any place in the world. All the people in prison in the world, if you have them all together, it wouldn't be as much as they have in America by itself. And most of the people in prison are our people. So America is very unstable. If you understand pressure, you understand that. Because when the pressure builds, the most unstable, right? They succumb to the pressure easily. More collisions, more violent. They become more violent. Temperature goes up. That's where the temperature comes from. The temperature goes up. That's what you're seeing right now. And you're going to see greater violence. I mean, what you're seeing now is like daily mass shooting thing. That's nothing compared to what you're going to see in the next few days. People just shooting police. Violence. There's nothing stopping it because the pressure is so great. It's overriding their ability to think. It's overriding their ability to think. See, you think in the direction that you're going. But if you're going faster, you can think. That's what's happening in America. They're actually going faster than they can think. That's why you see all this. Everybody say, why is America doing this? Why is America doing that? Because they're going fast. Because temperature is increasing, and now the motion, acceleration is greater than their speed of thought. So they're careening into destruction. They're driving unimpeded into destruction because, right, their speed is greater than their speed of thought. Our speed of thought is much greater. Was more substantial, put that away for now. But this pressure does cause us to move, since we a greater structure, mass times acceleration. The structure is also mass. So since our structure is much more massive than theirs, then we're not moving as fast as they are, right? And if there's collision, it's like collision between a Volkswagen Beetle and a Lamborghini. Now that's going to work out. Because if I understand, Lamborghini's made of solid steel. Lamborghini's made of plastic. So there's going to be a collision. But they can't withstand it. And that's what you see right now. Temperatures, everybody moving around fast. And European countries move around faster than anybody else. And constant wars, that's conflict. It's caused by pressure. So the people that's warred, they're the toughest, they're the weakest. So you got to think it backwards. Oh, the people that's the warriors, like kind of stuff, they warred all the time, that means they're the weakest. Because they have a greater reaction to the temperature. But the more stable, they're hardly moving at all. So look at how people look at it, ain't doing anything. Well, it kind of bugs you if you don't understand it. Understand it. Why? Because they don't move. Because it's going to take fire to move them. Because the highest, pressure doesn't bother them as much. So you see instability. Things come apart. So that's why they got to bring the military in, because they got to use greater force to keep things under control. If you got to use greater force, that means you lose control. See, you got to understand what this means. That's why they got to bring greater force. Got to bring the military in the cities now. They lose control of the cities. They got massive police forces and they can't control it. And I got the military. That's not going to be able to do it either. You're going to have clashes between the military soon. But they kind of anticipating that to some extent. At first, someone trying to promote it because that's part of destroying you. But they want to do it before you unite and destroy their ability to do that. So that's what we want to talk about. So your unity, a lot of people say unity is more powerful than an atomic bomb. Much more powerful than that. And they can't stand, they will not be able to withstand your unity. And right now, like I said, they got to make America great again. It means they're losing power. They're losing control. Why? Because everybody else and right now you're about to get an energy burst, energizer, which is going to seal the deal. Right? It's like, you're in an elevator, it's crowded. Suddenly, two big, 300-pound people push their way in. Boy, the present will be great. The weaker people are going to get crushed. That's what happened. They're going to be crushed out of existence. But they're not going to go out quietly. Blame it on you. You don't. Well, and then you are the cause because you're the 300-pound people to just walk in. If you didn't walk in, right, there wouldn't be in that elevator. There wouldn't be that problem. So if you wasn't rising, things start from rising. Right? They can delay their crushing because our rise, the planet is limited in size. Our rise means we want more power. So that means you have to take power from someplace. We take it from them. Then went back, reduced to the situation it was 500 years ago in Europe. Broke, disgusted, diseased. They're about to be pushed back near to destruction. They're all going to be pushed back into Europe. But let me just walk it step by step. Right now, you saw this, what's going on right now? It's going to turn extremely violent in a minute. But wait for that spark. Think about a spark. It's momentum in heaven and earth, but it comes with a sudden. You're going to get an energy burst in a minute. Everybody. They call it the Spirit of God. Everybody's going to get it. It says everybody. Devils, everybody. Everybody be energized. But that means put more pressure on the planet. It's like turning up the heat in the pile. Everything gets hot. But they can't withstand the heat. That's going to happen anytime now, brothers and sisters. I'm talking because it's going to happen anytime. And I anticipate it's going to happen this month. When it happens, the virus will be off the page. When it happens, Paul says, well, you're going to see this. And this part of what is keeping us divided, because we're told that this is God's people here. We're nothing. But when this happens, that's going to be a uniting instant, uniting star, because now that's us. We're all going to have a common vision, unite. And we have a common vision. We realize that we was told the truth by Elijah, and they're being lied to by Farrakhan. That's what I'm calling unity, common vision. And when that happens, it's all over for them. Because we unite. As long as they keep us divided, they can survive. Once you unite. There's extreme pressure on them. And when they see it happen, but when will you see this happen? When you see false Israel going down, when you see this is when you're going to see this happen. This is when you're going to see it. Well, let me see it. I've got it right here. This is about to happen. It said, we see Jerusalem surrounded by armies. No, it's destruction. It's destruction. Who's going to control them? And that means they're not the true seed of Abraham, you're going to realize you are. You don't mean anything to you now. It's going to mean to you in a minute. That's what I'm telling you. Because it's not going to mean anything to you right now. But when you see it, it's going to fall and come in. Right? It's going to trigger. Because when that happens, that's going to attack you. They know they put false Israel up there to keep you divided, to keep you not know who you are. So you're all over the place. But once that happens, you know that's a uniting sign. And when they see the war right now, right now, it's on pause. It's not on ceasefire. Ceasefire is agreement. Pause means like between rounds when you're fighting, and you take, you sit down and get some water. That's a cease. There's cease right now. But when it resumes, and you get hotter, the violence is going to go off the page, and false Israel, Iran we're going to take control of the Middle East. They're going to defeat false Israel and throw the Europeans, America, and Britain, as God can make out of the Middle East, throw them out. Right? False Israel is going to be under siege. At that point, surround by army. It says, we said surround by army is desolation, destruction is near. It says flee at that point. But at that time, when they see that, they know it's a unified sign, because they know that's why I put it there. They know that would keep us disunited as long as we didn't know who we were. But once that happened, we know there'd be unity. They will attack you immediately. I would say, flee, you can't go in your house. So the reason why he's telling you that, because they're already set up. That's it. You can't go in your house. You can't blow your nose. You got to run immediately. That wouldn't be so if they just had to figure out how to do it then. It means they already set. And that's what they're doing right now. They're doing all these things to set this thing up. They said these detention centers, they don't need them anymore, because the reason why they had detention centers for illegals that be in there until they had a day in court, but they don't have to anymore. But why are they still building them? Why are they putting military troops, American soil, attract American citizens? That's against the Constitution. They're doing it. Doing it for you. Why America's the one behind Gaza, not they just pulling the trigger. America giving the ammunition and the guns. That's a trial run, because that's what they plan on doing to you. They got the media, so anybody in the media saying that, you think, if this is the media over here, nothing's going on. So the whole world won't know what's going on while they get rid of you. And they're already desensitized to it because it's going over there. And the world cares more about those people over there than they care about you. Did anybody ever come to your aid in the last 40 years? Anyone from any country, anywhere? Even these so-called Swedes that come over here, they want you to march for them. They do anything for you? So nobody's going to give a damn if you go or not. Everything's already in place. So keep in mind now, when that happens, we said war start back up, and it's going to start back any day now. Be on alert. If I was you right now, I would put at least two weeks of food away. Store it where you can. If you store it in your car, that you don't have to cook anything with. Keep your car gassed. How are you? So when the war starts, because when the war starts, there's going to be chaos here. There's going to be violence off the page. They're going to attack you as soon as they see false Israel is in distress and cannot survive. Then they're going to attack you. We see Jerusalem Islamic armies. Right? That means their destination is near. In other words, you have to flee before its destruction. See, because you flee while its destination is still near, where it's about to be destroyed. And you'll be told what to do. Because at that particular time, when that happens, Farrakhan will be cast out, all him and his crew, and the real Son of Man will have take hold of NOI, and you have this information be spread all over America, so you'll know what to do if you're paying attention. Know where to flee to. You have a unifying message. Understand that. That's what you can expect. You will be under attack. We'll come together. And we'll get rid of the rest of the demons out. You come together as a unit. Protected. And you have Master Farad Muhammad as your protector from the sky. But you will have to go through tribulation, because this country will be, the economy will collapse. There'll be no food. Cannibalism will be on the way. It won't take long as people go to cannibalism. They can't make it 3 meals a day. Walmart and all places be empty in 5 hours. In fact, you wouldn't want to go there. because you get shot. People take your food. There's going to be chaos. So what you need to pay attention to is that when you see this war resume, if you ain't listening, anything I'm saying right now, say, "Room, take action." And that's what's happening. There's going to be chaos, and you're going to be the target. You're going to be the target. They're going to attack you. Understand that you will be the target. Once you come together, then you'll be able to defend yourself. You won't have to get guns. You will have whatever you need. Master Farah Muhammad will provide you with any arms you may need if you need any. And you'll be provided with food. But you'll have approximately 5 months journey to come together. It means you have to go through tribulation and depart out of here. And your departure will be protected. You will have transportation home, but you got to come together, because you will not receive deliverance until you have achieved Hajj unity. Working together. We're not going to go back home all Negro busting niggas. Unity. Working together as a nation, one body. That's what you have to achieve. They wash their robes in the blood of the Lamb. Right? And so there will be people who will be appointed to lead you. That hasn't been determined yet. Still look for those people. So they may be in the NOI now, but that's another thing. Farrakhan will be cast out from within. That's the process going on right now. People are plotting against him right now. They're waiting to see this war resumes. That's going to be a trigger for them. They're going to cast his ass out. Accused by brethren is cast down. They're going to cast his out. And then they're going to invite the Son of Man to come in, pull this thing together, and provide the information needed. And they're going to be responsible for getting the rest of our people together. Now, I'm giving you a short version of this, but this you have any day now. While I'm speaking, let me walk through it quickly. Right now, it's going to be, you're going to feel more energetic. You're going to see some strange things. You're going to feel more energetic. You will feel more energetic. And the demons, they're going to feel more energetic too. And you're going to, all of a sudden, right? All of a sudden, you're going to feel like you don't want to take no more shit anymore. And that's when, like I said, it says when thrones are cast down, ancient days sets there, then you get your proper mind back. Right now you still have distorted mind. Proper mind back. Now you're energized and you got steering wheel. But they're going to try to attack you. They're not going to try, they're going to attack you to stop you. And it's not just the devils. Your Sunni friends are going to attack you too. They're going to attack you too. Because it's going to be clear that we're going home to take our land back. They're going to feel like, oh, well, that's no story. But that's what you're going to have. You will have, you trust no one. Just trust yourselves and those with you in this message. Trust no one. No devils. No anyone. Understand? This is what's going to happen in 4 days, boss. This may happen today. You're going to energized, energetic. Right? That's going to cause you'll be more assertive. The main thing you need to look for is when Jerusalem's tribal armies, when this war resumes. I'm telling you, it'll be more clear. I just wait till you see us tribal armies. When you see this war resume, start making move then. When you see this war resumes with Iran against false Israel, start making move then. Make sure you packed, car gassed up. Right? If you put a couple of extra gas tanks in there, fine. Because you have to move, you have to flee, you have to go, and you'll be told where to go. But as soon as you see that, right, prepare. that's that sign for the people to finally get rid of Farrakhan. This message will be saints and days will be sitting there, and the message will be spread all over America. Just pay attention. So you can have a little advanced warning before you have to actually flee. Not much, maybe a day, maybe a few hours. Just pay attention, because you're going to see a dramatic change in the NOI in a minute. So there's things you're going to see. You're going to see the war resume. You're going to see a dramatic change in the NOI. Right? Violence off the page. You say talking about insurrection now, talking about civil war, because America's losing control. Remember, they're moving faster than they can think because the pressure is so great. Pressure makes things move faster and faster and faster. That's why it says their wisdom won't make sense. They've been delusional. They won't even know what to do because they move faster than they can think. But that won't happen to you. So you see that. You see, right? Just a little heads up. When you see that war resumes, start taking action and pay attention. Because you will see, you will get information from the NOI. There'll be someone in the NOI in control. People be cast out and revealed who they really are. And just follow their guidance. And you'll be okay. You don't be running to stores and all that kind of stuff. At that point, people get shot. These devils they be all crazy. Stores will go through, the economy will collapse. The insurrection. There's the army all over the streets. They probably have to institute martial law, they have a full martial law right now. You understand, brothers and sisters? So when you see this war resume, right? Start taking action. Keep your eyes open for what you see in the eye. Because that's where information be coming from. Farrakhan will be out. You just pay attention to that information, follow it, and you'll be okay. We're going to stand, brothers and sisters. I gave you a short version. Right? Don't trust these devils when they say anything they say. Because you hear stuff, all kinds of stuff. Don't pay attention to all these news, all that. That information you get, that's the only thing you need to focus on, information you get from there. And make sure it's valid, it's coming from there. They have some kind of false sight or something. They give you a little heads up just before they attack you. And spreads information. Or they may sound ridiculous. Well, if it doesn't happen, you can't worry about it, right? It's just a joke. It's real, and it is. Save your life and get you home. That's our job. Trying to get you home if you want to go home. We're going to stand, brothers and sisters. Come any time now. When you see that war resume, whatever ran it, process, don't hesitate. Start. And once you see it, you can see it's going to go bad immediately. And you can see House of Saudi Arabia, they're going to be on America's side. And they're all going to be defeated. And Iran's going to take over the Middle East. It's going to take America and Britain out. And it's going to put all Israel under siege. And it's going to be terrible for them. Because what they're doing in God's now, it's going to happen to them in spades. I keep saying they write on the obituary. They said they follow these sons, sons eating their fathers. What you need to do is just pay attention. Because you'll be energized. You're going to get a burst of energy. Some of you sick, all of a sudden you're going to feel better. You really better burst of energy. Right? How does that fool you? You see that? Don't listen to anybody said. The devil said, don't listen to any clowns that he's talking. Farrakhan, been there. Don't listen to any of those people. Because they didn't warn you about this. Remember that. And you're going to see this. They're not warning you, so that means they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Because they're going to be running their mouths. Right? When you see that war resume, take action. And if you really, right? Let's pack up some food right now, at least 2 weeks. 2 weeks if you can. Food you don't have to cook. Understand? So, you see that? Right? Take action and pay attention, because there'll be new authority in the NOI, and that's what you need to listen to. You get all the information you need. Act on it. Don't hesitate. It's critical. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I'm going to leave it there. Assalamu alaikum. History of the cross, known by their works. What's the history of the cross? 500-year history of the cross. Murder, rape, destruction, deception, enslavement, burning, terrorizing. To maintain a slavery system, you must terrorize the people 24/7. They terrorize people from Africa and America for 400 years. Constant terror, 24/7. Rape, murder. In the name of Jesus. This was Christians, not Buddhists, not Hindus. Christians, in the name of Jesus, where they said Jesus cursed black people, they call them Ham, cursed them to be slaves and persecuted forever. In the name of Jesus, raped our women incessantly, pissed in our mouths, made us eat shit. And they took and tried to clean it up, not clean it up, but make it look more fashionable, I guess, by calling it chitlins. That's after slavery, of course, after so-called slavery. Because what was into it was not slavery. Look up slavery. Look up slavery. It does include murder, rape, terror. This is a Holocaust. And then now they try to downplay it. Oh, that was 400 years ago. No, it wasn't 40 years ago. I don't care if it was a million years ago. It was 40 years ago. It lasts for 400 years. As they're doing today. They took everything away from the slaves. Everything. Their name, their culture, their families, their religion, their minds, everything. Fed their children to alligators as alligator bait. And then they talk about what's going on in Gaza when they did 1,000 times worse. What's going over in Gaza now is simply just a miniature version of what they did. What they did was far worse than what's going on in Gaza. Gaza's bad. It's genocide. What they did was far worse and much longer. That's the legacy of Christianity. Murder, rape, disease. They wiped out the native population with genocide and disease. Smallpox blankets, knowing they was full with disease. Herpes, syphilis, gonorrhea from sleep with animals. So-called common cold was not common. Didn't exist here on this side of the world until they brought it here. Murder, rape. When they was raping out women, there was a cross hanging from their neck. And again, they taught black, and this was God's will. God's will. enslavement of our people. And they continue on even today. That's the legacy of Christianity, the cross. So where's your rap sheet? Every time they arrest one of our people, your rap sheet. What's your rap sheet? How you going to judge people for murder when you're guilty of murder beyond imagination for hundreds of years? Hundreds of years. Theft. You stole this land and murdered its people. And you crushed the native people here. When the braves would go out hunting, you would come into the camps like cowards and kill the women and smash the children's brains out on the hooves of your horses. This is the legacy of Christianity. That's the legacy of it. The question is, if instead of Columbus coming here, Dracula came here, Beelzebub, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Satan, and they all came instead of Columbus, what could they have done that Columbus and those that followed him did? Satan is the God of this world. That's the God they're serving. They have known him by their works. What are the works of Christianity? What are the works of Christianity? Where's the works of Christianity? Evil, deception, mischief, bloodshedding. It goes on today. And what's going on in Gaza, just reflection and microcosm of what was done here in America for hundreds of years. Raped out women incessantly. They would even rape while they was out in the fields picking cotton. They would jump off their horse and tell them to bend over and rape them. And tell them to keep picking cotton while they was doing it. This is the kind of stuff that they would do. Make one slave defecate in the slave and slave in the mouth of another slave, and then bound it up so he couldn't spit it out for 7 days. That's a legacy of slavery. You did it all in the name of Jesus. There's a legacy of slavery. Legacy of slavery. 40 years plus. Legacy of Christianity. Legacy of the cross. That's the legacy. That's the true legacy. So whose works are those? Who are you serving? Who are you serving? The legacy of the cross. Where's your rap sheet, America? Gog? Where's your rap sheet, Magog? Britain? Where's your mateship? Where's your rap sheet? Antichrist, false Israel? What's your rap sheet? Then they colonized Africa. They're stealing from ripping off everyone. The legacy of Christianity has been ruling for over 500 years. And now, the threat of nuclear war to finish off everything. That's a legacy of Christianity in the name of your Jesus.
make it. Surely you ain't talking about us packing our bags and going westward or going out there in the land. Ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Surely you ain't talking about that, are you? No. We ain't going back to Africa. No. This is your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their ways. Come out of their pagan holidays where you should be honoring Jesus. You are out here buying bunny rabbits and inviting your children to paint eggs for some Easter hunt. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus out of your house and a tree that is the way of the pagans. Come out of her. St. Valentine's Day. What the heck is that? Excuse me. Come out of her name. Come out of her religion. Come out of her culture. Come out of her way of life. Come out of her educational system.
Back to their people. When they was put off on the shores of North America. And the ship, Jesus, that done Hawkins, brought our best hero. They stood and stared at it disappearing in the horizon, crying, wanting to return. With their hands stretched out towards that ship and tied in chains themselves bound together. And when they was put off on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and a strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on this ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our fathers in subjection to their will, you are now turning your face from your own native land and turning it back towards our own prison house and our own enemies who have destroyed us and seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel? Acting such. And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why should not you want to be separated and be returned to your own? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shore of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their own 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man say you are free. Remember that.
make it. Surely you ain't talking about us packing our bags and going westward or going out there in the land. Ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Surely you ain't talking about that, are you? No. We ain't going back to Africa. No. This is your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their way. Come out of their pagan holiday where you should be honoring Jesus. You are out here buying bunny rabbits and inviting your children to paint eggs for some Easter hunt. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus out of your house and a tree that is the way of the pagans. Come out of her. St. Valentine's Day. What the heck is that? Excuse me. Come out of her name. Come out of her religion. Come out of her culture. Come out of her way of life. Come out of her educational system.
Put it back to their people. When they was put off on the shores of North America. And this ship, Jesus, that John Hawkins brought our best hero. They stood and stared at it disappearing in the horizon, crying, wanting to return. With their hands stretched out towards that ship and tied in chains themselves bound together. And when they was put off on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and a strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on this ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our fathers in subjection to their will, you and I, turning your face from your own native land and turning it back towards our own prison house and our own enemies who have destroyed us and seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel acting such? And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why should not you want to be separated and be returned to your home? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shore of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their home 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man said you were free. Remember that.
Hi, Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulman Rahim here, Veteran of Covenant. Okay, brothers and sisters, it's been a year now, and finally home after 40 years in Arabia. I'm reporting to you from Arabia. Finally home after 40 years. Right? And so we've been here a year now. And there was an agreement made. A former slave master, he said, we had a choice. Stay here or leave. Right? So we chose our inheritance, Arabia. So we left. And half the original people decided they wanted to give up their inheritance and traded for a place in America in reconciliation with their former slave master. That's their choice. They chose, said, we don't want to go over to Arabia. We don't go over there sand and all that stuff. We want to stay here in America. We've been here all our lives, been here 40 years, born here, right? And we can make peace with our slave master. Okay, so they decided to stay. And so after a year, right, we're getting reports of how things are going over there. And it doesn't sound too good. How things are going over in America with their reparations. Because they was given, they got 6 states, I believe. Yeah, see? Yeah. Yeah, they got those 6 states right there. That's what Farrakhan told them. You know, they was listening to Farrakhan. Farrakhan promised them, you know, they stay there, 6 states, right? Had their own land. And they can make reconciliation with the former slave master. They're not devils. They're not devils. They're human beings. They just had a rough, you know, they were just, you know, did some things wrong, but now they, you know, they're gonna make amends and make reparations. So 6 states, and in addition to that, they gave everybody $1 million. Everybody stayed $1 million. Okay? Say, thank you, Farrakhan. They're so happy. Thank you, Farrakhan. Thank you, Farrakhan. Man, you got 6 states. That's what you promised us. We got 6 states. They're thanking you. Thank you, Farrakhan. Right? And you know, I mean, this was a year ago. They got the 6 states. Thank you, Farrakhan. Right? Everybody got $1 million. Everybody $1 million. And they're rejoicing. Oh man, they're so happy. Hey, we came, man. We made it. We got America, man. We got reconciliation for a master. We got 6 states. Everybody got $1 million. We're all rich. That was a year ago when we left. So we're in Arabia. They're still back there in America. And now we're getting reports a year later. This was the way it was a year ago, man. They were so happy. They were so happy. Right? And now we get reports of what's going on right now. Let's see. Oops, it says a power failure. Great power failure in those 6 states. Power failure. And just those 6 states. Right? So, and now they had a big and massive, they came asking to turn the power. Well, why can't they do it? Oh, Farrakhan didn't train anybody. He was telling you about 6 states, he never prepared you for them. So nobody knows how to do it. How to turn the power grid back on. So now he's begging, man, master, can you come and turn this thing back on for us? I mean, you would think that if he told him 6 states to promise him that he would have prepared him for it, right? Their schools and education, whatever they needed for that. But I guess they didn't, because they said over there now he's begging the former master to come and turn the power back on. And then what? I mean, this is all that's happening now. I mean, I'm getting these imports in now. A year later, it's like they're coming in every hour. Power grid failure, right? Then say, oops, crop failure. All of a sudden, there's no. They say they looked at the farmers. When they doing the farmers said, oh. So then they had master, what's happening here? How come you know? Right? Our crop. They found that the land they gave them wasn't that fertile. A year later, nothing's growing. Crop failure. And now they master, what's happening here? Right? And then, I mean, all these things, every hour back's coming in, right? And then they look, and they had, a year ago they had plenty of food on the shelves, right? And now, they look there now and all the food's gone. It's gone. She said, what am I going to do here? Food's gone. The house is empty. So he said, Master, we need some food. Well, how come you can't put your own food? I mean, you want your own country. You got your own states. That's your country. Then you run it. What are you calling us for? Right? And so they've been praying. And then, oops, no fuel. There's Master, no fuel there. Well, you got to buy your fuel. You got to produce your own fuel. What you calling us for? You got your own 6 states now. What you calling us for? Go and get some fuel. You got money, right? You got your own states. So you got to get your own. What you calling us for? You said you wanted your own, so now you got it. And you got your reparation, so we don't owe you anything anymore. We don't owe you anything anymore, so what you calling us for? We don't owe you anything. You said you agreed to 6 states and $1 million per person. You took that instead of your inheritance, what you call the Abrahamic covenant, Arabia. Your brothers and sisters, they left. They took that was offered to them. They took it, and you said no. I want this instead. So now you got it. So what you calling us for? Oh, no communications. Oh man. No communications, right? No medical facilities. So what's going on, Master? Wait a minute, hold on. That's you. What you calling us for? That's yours. You gotta handle that stuff. You want us to handle it for you? You want independence, now you have it. I mean, wow, this stuff was coming every hour, man. Instead of like a year, they was celebrating. And now they crying and begging the Master, hey, we got all these problems here. I said, wait a minute, that's yours. Where you come about your problems? You have to work those out. Right? No transportation, I mean, no planes, no nowhere. We don't know about fly the planes and they drive the trucks and the boats and stuff and to go and get this stuff. Well, what you done that for? You wanted this, you got it. So go ahead and get to train your own pilots, build your own planes, build your own boats and right? You see what I'm saying? Transportation, build your own trucks. What you calling for? Yeah, Master, we see this. You said you wanted 6 states, you got it. You want $1 million per person. That was your reparations. So then if you didn't pay people to take care of this, how is that our problem? You're independent now. You're really free now. Oops, no fuel, the gas station's empty. I can't drive, man. And no gas. Man, wow. All this stuff happened like for a year. They thought that everything was great, and all of a sudden everything ran out. So guess what happened? Everything was there when they got it, and then it ran out. They had to, some of them replace the fuel, to get the farms going. So they was left with that stuff. The factory was full. I mean, warehouses full. Then you had to keep they thought that was just going. I guess they thought it was just going to be there, just by itself. They didn't prepare for it. See, and they ain't trained any engineers and scientists and architects and stuff. They business. They didn't train anybody. So Farrakhan, he told you he's going to get this for you, but he didn't prepare you for it. He didn't get anybody to handle this stuff. So what was that all about? So now he asked the master, said, hey, don't call on me. You was here, you had it when you was here with me. You said you want independence, you wanted reparations, so you gave it to you. Well, calling your brothers over there. They left, they handled their own business. You said you want to stay here. Right? See? You don't have any professionals or technicians, scientists, doctors, none of that. See? I mean, that's what, because, I mean, if you're going to set reparation, you should be preparing for that, right? So if he was telling you about reparation, you should be preparing for it. If he said, God said that's where he's going to get you, so if God told him he's going to get that for you, then he should, like when God told Noah there was a flood coming, to only build an ark, so he started building an ark. And so you should start preparing for the 6 states and the reparations, but apparently you didn't. And so now, it does say, look, hold it. We want total separation. Look, we don't want you to call us no more. We don't want you to call us no more. Because you're wearing us. You want your own country. You got your own land. Right? You got money, $1 million, all this stuff, right? And so now we got to protect your money and everything too? No, you have to really create your own money. You have to do all these things, your own wealth, not ours. Right? So we're going to cut you off from that too. It's all economics. So they go and tell it. They tell all the people all the white folks, right? Because all the black folks, now all the black folks is either in Arabia or in those 6 states. That's the solution. You had to be one way or the other. There couldn't be no integration, that kind of stuff. That's the deal. You just said one or the other. So all the black folks are there, ain't no integration, that kind of stuff, right? Black folks are there, one or the other, so they're there. So they said, okay, right? So they just said, we're going to take our money because we don't know what y'all doing over there. You have your own money, you have your own wealth. So what they do is they tell all the white folks, say, protect your money, right? Transfer your money into gold. Transfer all your dollars into gold. Right? Now remember, they gave everybody $1 million a piece. So everybody got $1 million a piece, right? And so they transfer it to gold. And then what happens is that what they do is they start just printing money. White folks just start printing money. You understand what that means? That's inflation. Right? Because if you got $1 million of gold, a million ounces of gold, say 1 million ounces of gold, understand this, and you got 1 million certificates, then you say each certificate is worth 1 ounce. If you got 1 million ounces, each certificate is worth 1 ounce. Understand that? If you got 1 million ounces of gold, and you got 1 million certificates, each one of those certificates is worth 1 million. If you want to say trade with the certificates, each one of the certificates is worth 1 ounce of gold. Right? But if you take and print, you say you got 1 million ounces of gold, and you got 1 million certificates, each one. But say you print twice as many certificates, you got 2 million. Well, then each certificate is only worth 50 cents now, because you got to connect that to the gold. Well, you print 4 times, then each one's worth a quarter. So the more you print, the less they worth, because those certificates has to equal what the gold is. You understand? So the more you print money, the less, right? The less they're worth. So if you print twice as much money, right, there's less gold. You understand? So if $1 is worth 1 ounce of gold, which that's right, then if you print double that amount of dollars, then each one's worth half an ounce. You understand? That's printing money, without increasing their wealth does. That's inflation. So what happens is they keep printing. They get down to where $100 is worth a penny. But see, that doesn't affect their people. They try to protect their money because they transfer their money to gold. So gold still has its value. It's just the dollars don't. It still got the same amount of gold. But the dollars, they get down to a penny. So you can't buy it. You had $1 million, now your $1 million worth of $5. That's all it's worth. $1 million. Hardly worth anything. Hey, that's our money. You gotta have your own money, you control your own wealth. You can't keep coming at us what you're doing. And you think they wouldn't do that? Yeah, you've been a Gaza lately? You see what happened to the trees they made with the so-called natives? Kept telling me you had a forked tongue because they kept making trees with them, then they broke the trees. And took their land and genocide and everything else. But no, they wouldn't do that to you. See? Because now you have, your money's worth nothing. They haven't lost anything. Because once that money's worthless, it's no good, right? Then you bury it up, throw it away, it's worth nothing. The people still got gold. And even if they take it, hold on to money, hope to increase again, they're just using another different certificate, using another form of money. So it's still worth nothing. That $1 million you had, you're so happy with now, it's probably worth maybe $1. So you can't buy anything with $1. Plus the economy's collapse because everything is failing, and you don't know how to repair it. You don't know how to get those communications. You don't know how to do any of this stuff. You're not an engineer, build a house, you don't know how to do anything because Farrakhan didn't. Right? He didn't prepare you. He told you he'll give you 6 days. He told you, listen to me, right? So now you're broke, and your economy is gone. You have no food, no electricity, no power, anything, right? It's not their fault. They gave you what you asked for. You saw at your inheritance for that. And then they closed the border. Because you want to try to get back into America now. We want to come back in, Master. No, we don't want you back in here. We sorry, we want to come in. No. That's what you chose. You stay there. They closed the border, so you can't get back in here. You can't get back in America, into what you can call your land now. Swaziland or something? Farrakhan. Maybe call it travel land. Farrakhan. Named after Farrakhan. Right? So they close the borders, you can't. Because now you're hungry and everything else, your money's worthless. Oh God, come back, Master, I'll come back work for you, I'll work for Popeyes, I'll do anything you want. No, remember, now blacks, either they over in Arabia or they in that land. There are no blacks in America, any places, just in that land that you 6 days. And now you're starving, you ain't got your money's worthless, nothing works, and they close the border. Right? And then you see Master, you on the phone, you talking to the guy that you kept treating, help you. Hey, we finally got rid of niggas. Finally got rid of them. See on the phone. Yeah, it worked. We sold them no reparations. We sold them that used car. It turned the miles back and everything else, and they bought it. See? They could have had a BMW. They could have had a Lamborghini. They sold it for a BMW that looked good. Damn thing didn't work. And now they're starving, living in tents. Praying. So what? Then what next? What we gonna do, Farrakhan? You told us to take reparations, so we did. But they gave us everything we asked for. What we gonna do, Farrakhan? What we gonna do? Pray. That's his answer. Pray. That's your reparations. Like Elijah Muhammad said, he had a big picture. We leaving, and blacks staying on the shore, the ones stay behind, and they was whooping their ass. Right? Because they thought you think they want to give you some land and take care of you? You think they want to do that? And go bankrupt, give everybody $1 million? How much that is? If it's 17 million, that's 17 million times 17 million times a million is like $17 trillion, I think, something like that there. And they're gonna do all that for you. They want to get rid of you. So now they have succeeded. Because they closed the border. And what you gonna do? You gonna fight to come out? They closed the border. They got the military around there. They finally got rid of you. No more black problem, no more Negro problem anymore. One group's out of here, another group that's here. They're gone, and our hands are clean. We gave them what they wanted. Well, anything. Okay. God honors contracts. Remember, he honored the contract with Jacob. Esau sold his birthright for a bowl of soup to Jacob, which was Esau's inheritance, and God honored it. Okay, Jacob, it's yours. You're the one. And that's the deal. Because he ain't your friend. Pharaoh ain't your friend. Pray, pray, pray. That's the answer. And this homeland you was promised, you rejected it. So now you got what you asked for. So if they gave you reparations today or tomorrow, how would that scenario not play out like that? Well, they say, okay, you got it. Tell me how the scenario wouldn't play out like that. And tell me why they wouldn't do it. They love you so much, they're going to say, okay, we're going to take care of them. I mean, why should they go out their way to take care of you when you was right here? You was working at Popeyes and living in the get up on Section 8, all that stuff right here, because they're trying to get rid of that stuff right now. Trump's trying to get rid of all that stuff right now. Because they're closing on you don't realize it. Anyway, that's just, that's what's happening over in America. Wow. Boys, come here. Disaster over there. And, I just got a call. Oh, wait, hold on. Really? You serious? Our ambassador just got a call from I don't know what they call it Conland or something. I forgot what it is, something they call it right there. That 6th day. They begged us to come and help. Can they come over here? Can we come and get them? Really? Can we come and get them and bring them? Oh no. Now he went and asked Master Farah Muhammad, right? He said, no, hell no. We ain't going to get them. And I agree with that. Yeah, the Master said he said, let's call him, and he passed the word to Master Farah Muhammad. Master Muhammad said, send him back. Master, no, we can't come and get you. You made your choice, live with it. But die, whatever the situation is. Wow. I can't believe that. They actually, right, sent a message over. I don't know how they did. I don't have any communication with it. Somehow they got the information over to him. Said, would we please come and get him? Nope. Said, no, tell him no. And don't waste time communicating with us anymore. You got your land. You got your reparations. You got your money. You got Farrakhan as your leader. Yeah, tell him. Talk to him. Let him straighten out for you. He didn't want to sell you the idea. He was a salesman. So you on that idea of reparations. We told you. Right? Suleiman, right? He was the messenger to you, telling you, look, man, let's go home. You said no. You chose not to. Okay, brothers and sisters, that's a sad story. But I guess that's it. Is that it? Oh, they're not getting more reports on papers. Okay, he says that was Matthew Prophet Muhammad's final decision, and I think they closed communications off from there. So, like I said, brothers and sisters, we got those guys that came in. All that came in today, man. Came in fast. After a whole year, total collapse. Now they begging it. Somebody help them. We can't do it. Maybe Master help you. We won't do it. Assalamu alaikum. Update, brothers and sisters, got another late report in that they said, well, if you want to come and get us, well, we at least send them some food. They begged, said, please send us some food. Master Muhammad said, we got to send them a damn thing, nothing, zero. He said, please just send us some food. No, I just got that in. He says, if you can't come and get us, please send us some food. He says, no, he refused. That's the report. I just got the information from the ambassador. He said, they sent that, and he's read to me. He says, no. He said, please, just please send us some food. He said, no way. You made your choice, case closed. Okay? Just got that in, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.